See, Holley, thank you. You're far too kind. You could have been anywhere in the world, but I am so glad that you are here with me. I am Jesse Holley, the sports talk equivalent of Braille. People feel me when I speak. You guys know what you got to do. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button. Unfiltered with Jesse Holley on Instagram and Facebook. Fanatic Views on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Fourth and Long. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button on your podcast formats, Spotify and Apple, and everywhere else you get your podcast from. Put me in the group chat. I ask you guys every single week. Put me in the group chat. I want to be in the family's group chat, the fellas group chat, the girls chat, church chat. I want to be in all your friends group chat. Send me to your side piece, okay? Send me to your sneaky link. Put me in the sneaky link chat. You know that hidden chat that y'all got? Put me in the sneaky link chat. Put me in that chat that you storing them nudes in. Put me in that chat. I want to be in all the chats. I want to be foreplay. Help me help you. The sound of my voice will get somebody revved up and ready to go. But you guys are to get down. I had to get my motivation at the beginning. It's episode 95, by the way. We're close, 5 episodes away from 100. We're going to get like some poppers like for like 100. We're 5 episodes away from 100. But you guys know how I like to get down. I had to get my motivation at the beginning because let's be honest, a lot of you won't be here at the end. And that's okay because I'm not for everybody. But before you go, before you exit, give me a chance. Find an episode. There's 95 of these things out there. Find one. Give me 15 minutes at least to listen. And if you don't like me after that 15 minutes, find another episode and give me 15 more minutes. Eventually, you will begin to love me, or you'll hate me enough that you'll still hit the like and subscribe button just so I can get my algorithms going. All right, man, here we go. Here's the word of the day. And this one came from my therapist, and I love them. I love them. I love this. Thank you, Dr. J, for sending this to me. And it was so on time and it was so wonderful. But he sent me a text, and the text simply said, whatever blessings you're experiencing, be sure to get comfortable with them because they are really yours. Whatever blessings you're experiencing, be sure to get comfortable with them because they are really yours. They are really yours. And I thought that was just such an amazing thing to think about because we sometimes psych ourselves out of blessings. We feel like we may not deserve them, or, man, this is too good to be true. And we start thinking that it's going to end, and we start having all these different thoughts in our minds, and we create these atmospheres in our head. In the book that I'm reading, The Four Agreements, they call them this dream of hell, and we begin to have these agreements with ourselves about the things that were happening to us, and we are the ones causing the hurt, harm, and pain to ourselves because we forming these agreements. And so to hear that these blessings that I'm experiencing, to get comfortable with them because they are truly mine, I can get with that. And that's for somebody. It may not be for everybody, but there's somebody who's watching this that I want you to know. To whatever you're experiencing blessing-wise, to get comfortable with them because they are truly yours. They are truly yours. Don't think that they're coming in for a season and out. Don't think that something bad has to happen on the other end because you're receiving them now. This is what you asked, prayed for. This is what you're owed. This is the sowing. This is the reaping of the seeds that you sowed. This is it. This is it. The blessings are the fruit. You had to till the land and water the land and to nurture the soil and to seed the soil and to watch it and water it and weather it. This is the harvest. This is the harvest. So get comfortable with it. It all belongs to you. Like for real. It all belongs to you. All right, man, let's get into the show. The Cowboys, they let their assistant coaches speak this week And the one thing that I got from the conversations is two things that I got from the conversations. One, the first thing that you heard about when the Cowboys decided they were going to hire Brian Schottenheimer was his ability to control a room or to work a room or to capture a room by the things that he said. And you can feel that trickling down to all of his coaches. You hear what he says, you hear what Eberflus says, you hear what all the assistant coaches say. And I'm still on the fence because I don't quite know if this is coach speak or if this is actual real speak. And I do want to say this because we sometimes misinterpret let me hold off on that. The second thing that I got from what they were trying to say when the assistant coaches were speaking, violence. That they want the essence of this team's identity to be violent. And I can get with that. That I can get with. That I am a fan of. Football is one of the only sports. No, I shouldn't say that. It's one of many sports. Because you got hockey, you got MMA, where violence is appreciated. It's applauded. It's encouraged. The difference is you wanting someone to be violent and having the guys who are willing to be violent. Because I can have a want. Yes, I want guys to be violent. I want guys to be nasty. I want guys to be physical. I want an identity to be built here of that level of play. But do you have the personnel? Do you have, you can have the batteries, but do you have the backs to put them in? And that is a real critical thing because this team has not been built or has had the identity of physical, nasty, violent, insane, crazy, psychotic, those type of aspects. I sat here in this very room a couple of weeks ago with crazy, with violent, with nasty, with Sean Merriman. Like he embodies that. That's why he's still doing MMA. Like when he played with that level of anger. He invoked that level of fear against players because of the way that he lined up and played down in and down out. And it was a contagious thing that was felt on that defense. And do I think the Cowboys have some of those violent dudes? Yeah. Do I think the Cowboys have a culture or identity or an identity of a cast of players that embody that? As we sit today, no. No. And what I was going to say earlier that I stopped myself from saying to get those points across was a lot of what you're hearing or have heard about Brian Schottenheimer is, oh, it's a players coach. It's a players coach. And I want to caution people. To what that means. Because two things sometimes can be true. There's levels to this whole player coach type aspect. I feel, this is Jesse Holley. I feel the player kind of coach that a lot of you talk about and hear about are the ones that get abused. Stay with me. I played for Wade Phillips. And for the most part, Wade Phillips was a guy that they said, oh, was the coach's player's coach. Guys love Wade. They abused him. They abused his ability when he treated you like a professional and didn't stay on your back or may not have had a physical presence and wasn't a screamer or yeller, but allowed you to be a man and to be a professional. Players begin to abuse it. And instead of using it for their good, they used it to their disadvantage. selfishness came into play. Lack of effort came into play. Lack of accountability came into play. Because they took a guy who was allowing players and taking care of the players, and they abused it. Certain player coaches have to have a level of fearful respect. I think back to the Jimmy Johnson days. You can't find a human being alive that played on any one of those teams who have ever said a bad word about Jimmy Johnson. They love him. They love him. I'm friends with Michael Irvin. I'm friends with Nate Newton. I'm friends with Darren Woodson. I'm friends with people, with human beings who are still living and breathing on this earth who played under Jimmy Johnson, and they love him. But there was also this healthy respect and fear for him. And they'll all tell you to a man that you are always going to be okay with Jimmy Johnson if you did and worked the way that he commanded you to do, to work. If you didn't, you'd be gone. By our nature as men, and if you're a man and you're watching this, ask yourself this, just take the assessment. As men, one of our negative traits, and I don't know if this is because of, I don't know I don't know what it is in us. But if you allow us to do something too freely, we'll abuse it. We'll abuse it. And I'll use the relationship type status. If you have a girlfriend, if you have a wife, if you have a situationship or whatever it is, and she lets you get away with certain things, you won't self-correct it. You'll abuse it. You'll abuse it. If she lets you, I'm not saying that, but if she lets you go, step out and get another woman, or let you go, or let you just leave shoes anywhere without picking them up, or let you do you'll abuse it. You won't self-police yourself and go, let me pick up my shoes. They don't belong there. You won't. You'll come in and you'll say, well, she always picks them up. So you'll begin to abuse the privilege. It's not her shoes to pick up. You put them there. Take them back to the closet. Put them in the shoe cubby. This is what we are. If you allow us to do certain things, we don't self-police ourselves. We abuse it. And that's what happened in the locker room. And what happens in the locker room. If your player coach is too friendly, is too just, I'm about the players, and it's buddy and chummy and ha, and they don't have a healthy level of fear for me, they'll abuse it. They'll abuse it. They'll come in late. They won't study as hard. They won't pay attention to details. And before you know it, you'll have a locker room full of dudes who are abusing your player coachiness at some level, some greater than others. The greater the player, the more they will take advantage of it. The less of the player, but now what you have is you have a bunch of these small little things happening across the locker room. From the Jesse Hollies of the 53-man bubble guy to the number one guy on your roster. So I hear the coach speak, and I hear about developing, and I hear that you want to bring in these college guys, and I know that you want to have these guys who are more relatable and able to do, and I'm with that. I get it. I understand it. But I also need my head guy. I need the head guy. I need for there to be this level of that ish that happened in the past can no longer exist here. That love don't live here anymore. We will respect one another because we are men, but if you don't do what I called for you to do, how I called for you to do it, when I called for you to do it, the way that I called for you to do it for, you'll be wearing 3 shoes. 2 on your feet and 1 in your because that's how I'm going to coach. And it's not about being a player coach. It's about now you guys respect me enough, because when you have this level of respect, you police yourself. You police yourself. When I respect them enough, I begin to police myself. That's the difference between different type of player coaches or coaches that are player coaches. So we'll see. The NFL just came out with their new salary cap numbers. The numbers are going up. The numbers are going up. The projected salary cap numbers this year are between $277 million and $281 million. That's a raise from last year's 250 something. It's a $22 million to $26 million jump. To put that in perspective, over the last 2 years in the National Football League, the salary cap has jumped $53 million. Now, here's the question. And I'm talking to Cowboy front office people. How will you handle this salary cap? Because as of today, with the rise of these new numbers, you currently sit as being under the cap by $2.4 million. It's a good starting point. Not a great starting point, but a good starting point. Now let's see, I'm going to walk you through different ways that the Cowboys, through switches and reconstruction and extensions, can find a way to open up almost $100 million in cap space. First place we're going to start, to the quarterback. Now, let me be these first two players, the quarterback and the wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. Their restructuring they can just do that by hitting it. It's already designed. It's already designed. They don't need to ask permission or for those. It's already designed. They need to hit the switch. If you reconstruct, what you have to, because Dak is worth is $89 million against the cap this year. In no way on God that would ever sit. So you know that he's going to get it restructured. You save you get $37 million available. CeeDee Lamb, hit the switch. Bloop. $20 million. We're at 57 right now. You can restructure Terrence Steele deal, get $9 million. Trayvon Diggs, get $5.8 million. And then you can give a guy like Micah Parsons an extension, which will take his cap number down and would free up about $18 million. When you look up after over this, you freed up just under $99 million. Now, for the Cowboys, we always talk about all in or the drought or whatever it is, it has to be. The Cowboys can no longer be cheap in these streets. They can. But it will result in them doing what I think they're probably going to do again this year anyway, is rebuild. It's truly rebuild. You want to ask yourself the question about how can we get like the Eagles and the Rams and the Niners and all those other teams. Is they know how to hit these switches, open up the cap space, kick the money down the road, because we keep talking about Philadelphia and 2029 and how that money will come to a head in 2029. But guess what? I just told you in the last 2 years, in the last two off seasons, the cap has risen $53 million. It's probably going to rise some more by the time we get to 2029. So those numbers won't be as dreadful in 2029 while they're competing in 2024 and 2025. So the Cowboys have to be able to take this money and foresee this cap going up and up and up and up and up and be able to now prorate these things out to where you're now competing. The Cowboys have been the bottom of the league in cash spending the last 10 years, 15 years. And I know their plan is to draft and develop, sign our own. Well, that only works when you draft and the guys that you draft, especially in those first couple rounds, actually hit. In the last couple of years, they haven't. Tyler Guyton didn't hit. Schoonmaker didn't hit. Mozzie Smith didn't hit. So when those draft picks don't hit, it sets you back even further because these are the guys who you're drafting, developing, and they're supposed to be able to be sustained on your football team for the next 4 to 8 years. And so now the last 2 drafts you haven't hit. Kalen Carson, Tolbert, I said Schoon, Mozzie. These guys haven't hit. Now you've hit some other places like with guys like Deron Bland, but that's a bonus. Deron Bland can't be out of a draft class to be a 5th round pick and be the bright spot. He should be the cherry on top. He should be the thing that you didn't expect to hit, the Dak Prescott of the draft. Guys didn't think Dak Prescott was going to be a franchise quarterback as a 4th round pick. At that point in time, he's going to be a good backup, be around for a little while, maybe have to start a couple games, but not to be a franchise quarterback. So the Cowboys haven't hit on the end of their job of the draft and development. So we'll see what they do in the offseason. But when you don't hit on these draft picks, because what happens is you want to hit on these draft picks, and then when I hit on these 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round draft picks, what happens is now I can spend in free agency. It doesn't have to be so severe. The needs aren't such great, so I can bring in different level of players to add into these guys who are actually really, really, really good football players, especially my high level 1st round, 2nd round, 3rd round picks. But when they don't hit and you don't spend in free agents, you find yourself where you're at today with these gaping holes. And now you need offensive line help. You need running back help. You need receiver help. You need defensive line help. You need cornerback help. You need linebacker help. You need help at every single position because the guys that you banked on hitting either did not hit or ran into severe season-ending injuries. Guys like Nealon and Sam Williams and DeMarion Overshown, Trayvon Diggs. And now you don't have the room because if some guys who you brought in got injured, well, the guys that we drafted and developed will step in, and now I can kind of still, bargain bin shop in the free agency and still have a competitive football team. You don't have that now. You have to go now spend the money. So I hope that they do. I hope that they take a chance, but I think that they're still spending another year. I think this is another year rebuilding. And to end the Cowboys topic with some sad news, breaking news that we got right before the show started. And I don't know about you, but I did. We anticipated this. The 11-year starter, the 9-time Pro Bowler, 7-time first-team All-Pro, the 2010 All-Decade team, played in 162 games, started 162 games. The boss wanted Johnny Manziel. The son said, go get something a little bit more sure. You're stable, the butcher, the president. You're stable at right tackle right guard for the last 11 seasons. Zack Martin has officially notified the Cowboys that he intends to retire. I believe that he will be, if he and Tyron Smith both decide to retire this year, in 5 years, they'll both go in, I believe, as first ballot Hall of Famers. Zack Martin, at one point in time, had a crazy statistic. It was, I think it was maybe a year or so ago, that Zack Martin had more Pro Bowls than he had penalties, than he had holding penalties. Think about that. A dude that played in 162 games. Think about each game averaging in maybe 64 to 65 plays a game, and 162 of them. He had more Pro Bowl appearances than he had holding calls. Insane. He was a model of consistency. He was the prototype of what you want your right guard to be, or guard in general to be. He was smart. He was physical. He was talented. He was tough. He was durable. But we tip our caps to you, Zack Martin, and we say job well done. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Enjoy the seeds that are now come to harvest because you sowed great seeds in the dirt for many years. It was a pleasure to watch you play. It's been a pleasure to cover you. You do it and have done it the right way. So I salute you. I respect you. I honor you. And I hope that you enjoy retirement. Job well done, my brother. All right, man. Moving on. We got through the All-Star weekend. Bum, bum, bum. And yes, like many of you, the NBA and the NBA All-Star, the All-Star weekend, the All-Star game, they did this new format. By the way, Draymond Green, to be a current player, cooked the NBA. I'm telling you right now, Draymond Green, you better not get anywhere near a flagrant foul. Adam Silver is going to suspend you and fine you so hard and so bad and for so long for the way that you got on Oprah Winfrey's TV and spewed the hate talk for the NBA All-Star game, for the NBA format, for the NBA All-Star game format. You killed it. I don't know if I've seen a player down his game that bad the way that you did. But the NBA All-Star game, it's cooked. Shout out to well, part of it's boring because of your teammate, honestly. Steph made it. Steph hurt the game with, and it wasn't necessarily what Steph did, but Steph was just trying to find a way to make small, skinny guys who don't jump high, who don't run the fastest, to find their way into the game and to now meet this analytic stage. And he found a three-point shot and made the three-point shot a regular shot. And now everybody wants to shoot a three-point shot. All the offices are open three-point shots. Everybody takes three-point shots now. So if it's boring, it's because of the way that you guys made it. But the NBA All-Star game is cooked. Shout out to, what's my man, Mac McCullen? What's his name? McCullen? 3-time NBA Slam Dunk Contest champion. My sentiments still apply on how you get the Slam Dunk Contest better. You go out here and get those street dunkers. Pair them up with an NBA All-Star, put some money on it, and let those dudes break their neck. Let them set themselves on fire. Let them shoot themselves out of a cannon if they want to. But honestly, it comes down to, for the NBA All-Star game, until you get your best players playing, like it was fun when we watched Reggie Miller and Ray Allen be in the three-point contest. It was fun when we watched Vince Carter, Dominique Wilkins, Michael Jordan, Spud, Latrell. Like when you watched your stars of the league get into the dunk contest. I do think a format to steal from the WNBA, hey ladies, the one-on-ones. I think that's something, but these guys are a little bit too prideful. You don't want to get somebody to sauce you up, cross you up. But the NBA All-Star game, you're cooked as a whole. But there has now become a battle between the NBA All-Star game and the NHL Four Nations. And the NHL Four Nations games that have been taking place over the last week or so, which will conclude with the USA taking on Canada in the Championship League. It has gained some fantastic notoriety. For a lot of people who are not NHL fans, have jumped on the wave in recent days because the last time the USA played and they played against Canada, 3 fights happened in 9 seconds? 3 fights in 9 seconds. You can say that's the name of the game. You can say it's a gimmick. Call it what you wish. But it did bring eyes to the NHL. And one person, not just one person, but one person who's been able to do it publicly has been PK Subban. Subban. And PK's been on this kick, and he's been calling out the names. He's an out back. He doesn't call out names. But he's been saying everything but names. And he's made this charge about the NHL and their players and their pride and their playing. And then I got my producer Tay, and he's sending me text after text about viewership, and it's 10 million views, and it's up, and he's out on the NBA All-Star game, and hockey has found its way. And I just want to say to people like Tay, I want to say to people like PK, while I do believe, and I agree with you, the NBA All-Star game is cooked. It is. Large in part because their best players won't play hard in the game. But NHL, you too had to find a creative way to get fans to come watch your game. Let's be honest. It's been 10 years since you've had international Olympic hockey. 9 years since you've had your top players in the NHL playing international hockey. The difference between NBA All-Star Game and Four Nations is I'm not playing for the NBA. I'm playing for my nation. So you don't have a problem when the NBA players go and play for the Olympics. Oh, no. You cheer them on. In fact, it is one of the most watched sporting events when the NBA players go to the Olympics and they got USA across their chests. You get the Kevin Durant's. You get the LeBron James. You get the Steph Curry's. You get a guy like Jason Tatum to be a part of a team who is damn near one of the best players in the NBA to sit his ass on the bench. So don't tell me, PK, about these guys have to have pride to go out there and play the game. Yeah. There's a reason the NHL had to revamp the way they were doing things as well. Because they weren't getting the views that they wanted to get during their All-Star games. So when you put USA across their chest and not NHL across their chest, absolutely you're going to get a different viewership. Absolutely you're going to get a different level of play from those players that are playing for the USA. That is the big difference. Because when I watch, you watch PK, you watch Tay, and you watched at home. We all watched Steph Curry do night-night. To who was it? Serbia? France? We watched that. And you cheered, and you jumped, and you screamed. And it was one of the greatest spectacles that we've ever seen. Because we play a little bit of different with the pride and the energy and the effort when it's USA across our chests. See, now, if those same players, PK, who you're saying don't have the same amount of pride and integrity, and you don't care if they make $300 million or whatever, that they need to show up and play, those guys do. They do. The summertime when they can be taking off, getting ready for their season, they do. They go and they face the world's best players. And they not only beat them, they blow them out. And they give people in the United States a sense of pride that we are still the best basketball country in the world. So I get it. I get it, PK. I get it. You want to be able to put your league on a pedestal. Rightfully so, my brother, do your thing. But please, Don't mistake the two. Because if it was the USA players versus the other, pick whatever other 3 nations you want to play, you think you get silly hoop-de-loop play? No. You get dogs. You get KD being KD. You watch the clip that they're showing now, or I don't know what, I think it's on Amazon or Netflix, and they're showing the behind the scenes of yeah. You saw what the hell Serbia was saying? That coach came in and said, he's Kevin Durant. Yeah. You didn't question the pride of Kevin Durant and LeBron James and Bam Adebayo and Steph Curry and those guys then. It's an all-star game. And I'm with you on this, PK. They do need to show up to give their all-star game a different feel. But don't confuse the two. Don't ever confuse the two. Because you watch and you cheer. And you say it with pride. When the USA men's basketball team is playing on the largest stage in the world at the Olympics. And they dog other nations out. Now, if they made their all-star game, maybe the USA All-Stars against Olympic style, like the 4 nations, maybe you'll get the competition level. You'll get the pride. You'll get the enthusiasm. But please, don't do that. Don't do that. I am happy that the NHL has gotten eyes back on them. Again, it's been 10 years since they competed in the Olympics. It's been 9 since the top players from America has competed internationally. So I understand. Enjoy the spotlight. Enjoy the views. And I hope and pray that it does bring a new level of audience to your game. I want it to grow. Sure. Let's have it grow. But don't mistake the two. Don't take friendly competitions amongst players across the league and try to put it up against competition against nations. There's a reason there was 3 fights in 9 seconds. It's a difference. And when they play on Thursday night, it'll be different. Because I'm not playing for the Florida Panthers or representing the Boston Bruins or the Dallas Stars. Nah. It's USA versus Canada. It ain't the Blackhawks versus the Islanders. Different level of pride when it's USA across your chest. So enjoy it. But relax, PK. Take it down just a little bit. Because you know how the USA players get down on the basketball side when we have to face many nations. All right, man, I'll end with this. College football, as you know it, is changing. Texas, by the way, Steve Sarkisian's got a new raise. He'll be in a $12.3 million a year range. But there was a time I played college football. You go through winter workouts, you go through spring ball, and then your introductory to the season is around the corner is what? Spring game. Texas is the 3rd team that has come out and said that they are canceling their spring game. Other 2 teams are USC and Nebraska. And they can say and try to put this any way they want, but here is the real about it, okay? The real about it is the NIL era and the transfer portal era has made college football basically into pros. And so what teams are no longer doing is, because when you play in the spring game, it's your team. So you divide these teams up and you're able to see these different things. And so what people are now doing is they're watching your spring game. They're checking out Texas, and they're checking out USC, and they're checking out Notre Dame, and they're checking out Georgia, and they're checking out Bama, and they're checking out all of these big schools, and they're saying, that receiver that they got over there, that second string guy, is on the other team, they're on the white squad. How about we call him and see if he wants to come start? And so now teams they're saying, you know what? You no longer will be able to view my first and second and third string players as they're playing in competitive competition. So that now you can come and you can cherry pick from my roster, that you can poach from my roster, That is the world that we're living in today, where people are now using the video and the film from spring games or the TV coverage from spring games to go and say, that redshirt freshman, he ain't starting over there. Hey, how about you get on the phone and make calls to his representative? If you know somebody that knows something about him, and see if you don't want to come over here and start for a couple dollars. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. So if you enjoyed spring football as a fan, maybe you did as a child and now you're an adult, maybe you made it a part of your tradition with your daughter or your son, you can look forward to many other schools canceling their spring game. When schools like Texas and Nebraska and USC begin to cancel these type of games, you can bet your bottom dollar that the other big time programs are saying, well, if they're not going to give it an advantage, why should we? So look for the future for schools like Bama and Georgia and the other big time programs to say, we're done with the spring game. We're done with it. Yeah, we loved it for our fans, but we're playing in a different ball game now. We're playing in the pro level, college level. We're playing in the pro style college atmosphere level. And that's what we come to. We're world. All right, man, that's it for your boy, Jay Holley. Remember to like and subscribe, hit the notification button, put this in all the atmosphere that you are around. Episode 95, comment, leave us 5 stars. Follow me at Mr. Fourth and Long on Twitter, Fanatics Views on Twitter, Fanatic Views on Instagram, Unfiltered with Jesse Holley on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook. Follow the page, see the clips, let people know about what I am doing and what we are doing here. Yeah, put me in that sneaky link chat too. Put me in there. And again, I bid you adieu, Zack Martin. My hat's off to you, my brother. Job well done. Enjoy retirement. You gave everything that you have. I've always said on this platform, people don't truly understand when it comes to football. A lot of times, most of the time, a large majority of the time, you give to the game things that you're unwilling to truly give. The game takes it away. The game takes what you truly don't want to give, but you give it anyway because you love the game and you love your teammates. So enjoy it. Zack Martin. All right, man, I'm out. And remember, whatever blessings you're experiencing, be sure to get comfortable with them because they are truly yours. They're no one else's, and you deserve them. All right, man, remember, eliminate the contingencies. I'm out.